Hi everyone, it's Mike with Crane Realty. As the spring market slowly approaches, well, it'll actually be here a lot sooner than we might like to think about, considering it's 0-degree temperatures outside and plenty of snow on the ground. The spring market will be here very soon. So there's a lot of sellers out there that have been thinking about listing their property and going through some of the different thought processes behind that. What would be the most advantageous price for my home, and what are some of the advantages of listing it maybe lower than the fair market value of what somebody would be willing to pay for my property. Now, when I sit down with sellers, usually we have conversations about a variety of different price points and where we can ultimately expect that property to sell, obviously based on comps in the area. And for a variety of sellers, they typically want to get at or ideally north, right? We all do. Talking about listing the property low. What are some of the advantages of doing that? Well, for one, it certainly will open you up to a larger demographic of people, right? So if you have a property, let's say hypothetically, we can expect that it will get somewhere in the high 50K range for your property. If we do list it aggressively low, what that'll do essentially is it's going to open itself up to a variety of buyers that are looking. So let's say if people who qualified for that 150, 160, maybe some that qualified north of that, maybe some that also qualify for like 140, maybe high 130K. Those buyers will ultimately want to see this property too. They're going to say, ooh, something that's on the top end of my budget, but that's a home that I've been looking for a very long time. I want to get in and see it. It's going, for buyers, a lot of times I hear this term, that bidding war. It's going to create this bidding war. A lot of buyers are going to be looking at showings. It's going to be difficult to schedule because everybody's taking those showing blocks of 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock onward, people getting out after work. So the agent circles back to those buyers and it's like, hey, can we schedule, on this day? That would have worked for me, but look at all these showings, right? Just to look at the screenshot here. A property that prices aggressively low, and this is like increments of 30 minutes for a showing, or well, maybe almost pushing 45 minutes, there's a lot of interest in regards to this particular property, right? How they go about doing that is because they priced it really low. If you think about it, if this property were to be priced maybe right where the 1% of the market would be willing to pay for that property, what would ultimately happen for that person? Well, they might get that buyer still to come, but because of that lack of competition, the number of buyers that essentially that particular buyer would have had to have beat out isn't there. So they're essentially not going to have to compete or maybe write as attractive as an offer in order to win, right? If there's a lot more buyers, you're doing your ultimate best. If you're the only buyer, you're not going to have to pull out all the stops, right? So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. Obviously, for your particular home, we might have to incorporate a different strategy. Maybe it's listing right at the fair market value. Maybe it's advantageous to go above that, depending on your circumstances and the property itself. But for a variety of homes, it's something to actually think about, because listing it low, maybe even aggressively low, certainly can add a huge buyer pool. And then by doing that, it creates this large bidding war, which we always love to see rev up. And then having a delayed negotiations, allowing people to get in, see it for 3 days, 4 days, and then all offers due at a particular day. And from that point, hopefully we can select one that will be at or exceeding where we were hoping to be. So if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out, give me a call directly. I'd be happy to talk with you. You can reach me at 585-412-8062. Again, I'm Mike with Crane Realty. If this video is at all helpful, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to click that subscribe button.